Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the UNIQUEfemme Podcast. I'm so excited. I'm here with Mai. She is the founder of XUUX, an incredible photographer. I'll go into her bio right now, but I'm so excited because Mai, I know you personally, has so much wisdom, so much experience. You're so heart-led, and so for our listeners to be able to listen and hear and learn from you is just such a gift. And I'm so excited. You guys
Hopefully, I don't disappoint.
never. No, you never do. Okay. Mai, specializing in high-level editorial photography with a true love for unique artistic experiences. She's an independent visual artist with a strong drive to collaborate, create, and curate. She opened XUUX Artists Studio in 2020 and have since worked passionately to execute events focused on showcasing London's incredibly diverse talent pool, creating connections within the creative community, and providing accessible networking opportunities to creatives by eliminating barriers that may otherwise stand in their way. And I can confirm this because she has opened up her wonderful space to myself and my movement company, and we're going to be talking a little bit about that today and that experience, which I'm so excited about. So thank you so much for joining us today. I think, maybe we could start talking about, we'll go into your photography business first, and maybe we can go into the space that you created, because I feel like that was kind of the order, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And I know you have so much experience and you actually travel a lot for work. So I'm excited to see and hear your perspective on that happen, because I know that for a lot of our listeners, traveling and doing that is kind of the dream, is getting their name out there. And I know the grass always seems greener on the other side.
I was just going to say, not everything that shines is gold.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe it offers some real life perspective as well in terms of what that actually looks like. So can you share with me how you came into kind of the art world as a creative, and then how it led into your photography business?
So that means we need to go back to the beginning.
Let's go back to the beginning. Yeah, let's do that.
Well, I'm Mexican, so I grew up in Mexico until I was 18. My family, I've always been surrounded by music. My grandfather was a musician who was in national TV, and he recorded, like, a recording artist. That's the way, a recording artist. My mom was in a band when she was younger. I remember her always playing the guitar. There was always a guitar in my living room. And I'm Mexican, so there's culture and color and art everywhere you go, right? And I love dancing. I didn't sing, but I was a dancer. So I've been dancing since I'm like 8 or 7, and I started, going to classes up until that's how I actually met my husband and ended up being in Canada. I was a dancer at a all-inclusive resort for the shows, and he took a year off university and went to work at the resort. So that's how we met.
Oh my God, amazing.
So in the art world, so kind of music and dancing and photos. My house was always full of old pictures. It's always been there. Sometimes you just don't notice it unless you pay attention, but it's always been around. And then, so when I moved here, my life changed upside down, obviously. I got married. I was dealing with immigration. I didn't know anybody, culture shock. And then I started having my children really young. But it was in 2002, 2003, 2004. There was no Facebook. There was none of that. So I started taking pictures of my kids, of my life here, and then I will print them and send them home.
Wow. Okay, can we stop there for a second? So I love that. I love that story. And then I know we're going to continue it because there's so much more. But often I feel like I hear a lot from maybe my clients or the community members who don't have kids yet. And they go, I know I need to get this done and get into my artistic career and do my goals before I have kids. And I love hearing stories like this because I'm like, actually, sometimes you just trust the timing and our kids will actually bring us closer to our purpose. And I found that with like Juliet, I had actually stopped dancing for so long. My community, you guys know that I'm a dancer, and I actually wasn't dancing. I couldn't even watch So You Think You Could Dance on
Oh, I
TV.
love that show.
Yeah, and I couldn't even watch it because it hurt. It hurt too much. I was so sad that I wasn't dancing.
You see, when that show came out, I loved it. I loved it. It did make me miss the dancing. I didn't really started dancing until 18 years later when I met you
Mm-hmm.
through one, you know. My kids were older by then, but yeah, it's true. Like you just do. And my life changed because of the choices that I made,
Yep.
right? And you just gotta move on. But
Well, yeah. And for me, it was like, I couldn't even watch it because I was so sad that I wasn't dancing and I knew that I was supposed to be. Like deep down, I knew like I'm supposed to be dancing. And then I had Juliet, and I won't go fully into the story, but in a way, because of her, that's actually how, again, I found O&E and I started dancing. And that's where I became a dancer again and went to the professional world. And so it's never too late.
no,
And your creativity and your life can very much be propelled once you have kids. So just, if you are thinking of parenting or you are a new mom and now you found this new creative love, like it's not too late. Often our kids will bring us closer.
and I'm a true believer that you can be 42, almost 42, no, 42, and like start something new. Or
Yes.
50 or 60, there is never too late to start something. But yeah, so that's how I started. I just started taking pictures to send them home. And of course, everybody thinks their kids are beautiful. So I thought my kids were beautiful.
Your kids are beautiful.
And so I just took a lot of pictures and sent them home. And then my husband gifted me a good SLR camera one Christmas or my birthday. I can't even remember. And I just started taking more pictures. And then his family and friends were like, "Oh, you take pictures. Can you take pictures of my family?" And then just kind of snowball from there. Yeah.
And you're such a talented photographer. Like looking at it's so high, like high level without like, without even meaning that it's not for everyone. It's accessible for everyone. But I mean, like, there's just this quality to them and this like eye and this artistry. I don't know, they're very beautiful.
Thank
And I've seen like the different sides of your photography, even.
Yeah, well, I did everything.
Yeah.
So, like, I think every photographer goes through the same thing of like, you got to try everything, right? So, but I remember once I got the camera and I was, getting comments and things like that. That I'm like, I think I can do this. I was working at the hospital back then. I was a clerk at emergency. I hated it. It's not for me. But um, between us, I did not finish high school.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Because I went to work for the summer
Mm.
and then I met my husband and I was gonna go back, but then he brought me here and life changed. So when I started having my kids, and my husband is an engineer, he's a very successful engineer. And he owns his own company. So when when I had my second kid, when I was about to have my second daughter, I was pregnant and I was 22. And I'm thinking, like, my husband is an engineer. He's doing really great. I'm gonna have my second daughter and high school not fit. Like I didn't finish high school. What am I going to teach them? How am I going to be telling them you need to go to school, you need to study if I didn't do it? So when I was on mat leave for my second, I signed up for school at Fensha. But because I didn't finish high school, I had to find a program that it had to be for adults, that it didn't ask me for my high school diploma. And also I'm coming from Mexico, so I had to redo high school. So I just found a program on FanChat for adults. As long as I was over 21, they didn't ask for anything. And I did a program. It was an 8-month program. It was medical office assistant, I think. And I did it in 2 years with a 2-year toddler and a newborn,
Oh, wow.
part-time. And I was working part-time. I finished it and then I got a job. So I was working at the hospital. But then just wanted to know that, like, okay, I did something. I finished it. This is not for me, but it's something that I'm very proud that I did when I did it. And then that's that, right? So when I was doing the photography and people were saying, and I'm like, okay, I think I can work this. I hated the hospital work. It was not for me. So I quit. And then I just said, okay, I'm just going to see where this goes. And then I asked Google, how do you become a fashion photographer?
Amazing. Okay, can we quote that? I'm just gonna try this and I'm just gonna see how it goes. Like, if you have that dream, just try it and see how it goes. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, you're always gonna wonder. And Google. Oh my God, I love that. And so, what did Google say?
Google told me for new fashion photographers, it's good to start with like, you know, a good friend that are kind of model looking or family. And then you go into a modeling agency, you talk to them and see if they start giving you their new models or their fresh faces. And then you start building your portfolio and then you make connections and then you go from there. So that's exactly what I did. I called my husband's, two sisters who were at the time like in their 20s. They were pretty. Okay, let's do the pictures. And then I Googled modeling agencies in London. At the time, it was Anita Norris that was here. And I went into the office. I made an appointment and I just showed up. And then I talked to one of the agents. And of course, they're looking at my pictures. And I'm like, yeah, we'll call you. But then I did it. The month later, I get a call from them. They needed an intern. And I think they needed not a teenager intern, like a more grown up woman. I was 27, 28 at the time. And, uh, and I was working part time and I had my girls young, right? So they said, it's an unpaid internship. We need you to come here for a year, once a week for a year. We know that you want to learn photography. You'll be able to assist photographers to come and work with models and learn about the industry. And I'm like, this sounds fun. So I did that for a whole year. So I was there for 5 hours every Wednesday for a whole year. And I assisted photographers. I learned about the industry. I connected with other people. And then I went from there. And then the first time they let me shoot their models, they were just starting their kids division. And they were like, well, you're a mom. You can take pictures of the kids. And I'm like, yeah, I take the pictures of the kids. So I started taking pictures of the kids like I would with big models. And they loved it.
Wow. Okay.
And then they started building the kids division. And then I started just taking photographs of kids. And then, yeah, and then just went from there. And then from that, I'm like, oh, it's this kids fashion. And then I found a magazine in Toronto that was doing kids fashion. Oh, I can do that. So I messaged them. Didn't get a reply. 2 months later, I get an email from one of the editors saying, like, the magazine is closing, but I'm opening my own blog online, and I have all the contacts, and I need a photographer. Would you like to collaborate? If I send you some clothes, find some models. It's unpaid. It's all collaboration. I'm like, that's okay. So we did that. She posted it. It was great. And then I think 3 months later, she was like, hey, I got an invitation in New York for um, uh, Petit Paris show. It's like a boutique fashion show during Fashion Week for small brands, high-end brands. It's just kids. It's like you have to pay your way. But I would like for you to go if you can, so you can get pictures for the blog. And I'm like, New York? Yes, I'm gonna go. My husband has been a great supporter. I have to say, I would not be here if I wasn't for my husband because he was a big supporter. So he's like, yeah, go. So I paid my way. We went together. And of course, it was Heidi Klum showing off her line collection. So I was just like in awe. But then you get your little identification thing. And then at the end of the runway, there's like the photographer's pit. It's like so many photographers at the end, dog. Oh, and it's New York. It's cutthroat, right? So you kind of sit in the middle, and they're like,
Wild.
it's
I don't
just,
know how I would do
it's
that.
very intimidating. Um, it was my first time, right? And then of course I had a flash. The flash went off just when it started, and they were like, "You can't do flash," and I'm like, so I turned the flash off, and then I just did the first show. But I felt so like out of my league and so like not comfortable. But we had passes because she was a publication. She had passes to go backstage. So she's like, well, let's go backstage. You can do some behind the scenes. I'm like, okay. So I just went backstage. All the photographers stayed in the pit. I went backstage. I think it was just me at the time. And I just started taking pictures backstage of what was happening with the supermodels, but with little girls and kids.
Wow. Can I jump in for a
Yeah.
second? Because there's so much that you said there that I feel like for anybody who's maybe starting on their journey, and I do actually work with photographers who are earlier on their journey than
Mhm.
you, of course. Um, like it's just such a great reminder. And there's like two big things that I feel like I pulled out of that I would like to like maybe remind anybody else, or even it's a nice reminder for myself, as we start our own companies in whichever realm you're kind of in. But one, it's that like I think that what we see online right now is like, in the coaching industry anyways, it's like, do this and you'll succeed tomorrow. It's like these like really quick, like, do this and you'll make the money by this year. You'll get all the clients this year. And it's like, actually, it's a slow, intentional, authentic build. It's one inspired action at a time that then will lead you to something else. It's like,
Yeah.
are you doing like, for you, you were like, okay, no, this feels good. I want to take this opportunity. Okay, yeah, I'll work on your blog. It's not money, but like, it just feels right. And then it led to New York, and then it led to all of these other opportunities. It was like, because you continue to take inspired action. So and sometimes I feel like people after a year are like, oh, is it working? Is it working? And it's like, yeah, but it's only been a year. Like, give yourself time, give yourself grace. There's no like rush in that sense.
And there's no perfect recipe for success, especially everybody's recipe is different. Everybody's journey is different.
Mhm.
I think that for me, if anything, is just do.
Just do.
Do.
Yes. Take
Always do.
action.
Do not stay stagnant.
Mhm.
If something's not working, change it.
And I feel like this is an invitation. If you're listening to this right now, even if I'm like, I'll listen to the podcast back to like listen to what I could learn from you guys after these. And I'm like, maybe you stop it right now and you're like, if there is something that you want right now, go email them now. Go text them now. Go to the photography shop and put your name in now. Whatever it is that you're in, just take a second and just take that step. Just ask. The worst they can do is say
Say no. But if you don't do it, it's a no anyway.
no.
So what you gotta lose?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love that. I love that. So I feel like it's such a great reminder for people, because very much online we are seeing, just do this and you're going to have this tomorrow. And it's like, that's not
No.
how it works. And then people get um discouraged, and it's like, just continue to take inspired action, and universe will
And
meet you halfway.
and also, what is the intention? Why you want to do this? Okay, why? Like for me, I was really enjoying photography, and I felt that I found a purpose. So even though it wasn't making me money, it was making me happy. It was making me happy because like my identity before moving into Canada, I was a dancer,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? And when that was over, because you move to a new country, now you're married, you don't know anybody, now you're like adjusting to the culture, to your new country, your new family. You don't know nobody, the language. I didn't speak the language either. Um, and then you have kids, and that changes your life. So it's like that was another life, right? But now I found something that it was filling me up the same, and I was just inspired to do more, right? So even though it wasn't monetary, wasn't giving me anything, it was feeding my soul and giving me purpose. And I wanted to learn. And that's the thing. Like, if you're always learning, if you're excited to learn something new or discover something new, it's also adventure. Like, I moved countries because I like adventure, not knowing what's going to happen. So I think that's also like why I kept doing that. And then from going back to the story, shooting backstage, I did not want to go back to the photographer's pit. So I told Rebecca, I'm like, is that okay? She's like, yeah, just do whatever. She wasn't paying me, right? So she was just happy that she had a photographer for her publication. So I said, this is when Instagram was also starting. Well, it was already there, but it was just kind of taking off. Um, and then she started posting the pictures. And then I started posting pictures of the backstage. And the runners of the show, Petit Parade, they loved them. They loved them so much that they could see what was happening backstage. Nobody did that. So they invited me to come the next time.
Ooh,
Not paid.
chilled as
Not paid.
So.
Not paid. Still not paid. But now I had full access of the whole thing, and they were promoting me in their page. So I now had a bigger platform that all my pictures were being seen, and my name was out there. And so I went the second time, and now everybody, all the brands, the model agents, the moms, they were all using my pictures and getting to know me. And then I kept going. I did that for like 3, 4 years. Um, Petit Parade never paid me to be there, but I was able to get jobs through being there. I
Yeah.
was also, Barney's is closed. Barney's, New York. Barney's is closed now, but at the time it was open, and they had a big following, and they did a whole article on Petit Parade, and all my pictures were there. So that was also pretty big. Now the brands wanted to work with me,
Right.
so so that's how I made connections
Hmm.
in New York.
I love that. It's so interesting because before you came, I was like, that was one of my questions was like, how do you build so many connections? And you've kind of just answered it because I find that that's definitely one of, I would say, obviously your gifts is like you're so good at building connections and bringing people together and connecting them.
Yeah.
And so that just makes complete sense. I'm like, I wonder what your human design is. Right? You guys know human design's so big. I wonder what your human design is. I wonder if that's part of it is like you are community, connector.
Well, community is a huge part for me because
Yeah.
I'm Mexican again,
Mhm.
and our culture is built on community. Like I lived in a multi-generational house. I know my neighbors. I know the neighbors in 2 blocks away. We've been living in the same house for the past, I don't know, I'm 40. So 40 years, right? Of course, then people come in and out, and it's all about community. Something happens, everybody's over there. Like I find North America, Mexico's North America, but like Canada and United States are very more individualistic than we are. Um, so that was one of the things that I really miss, and it was like missing the community. And it took me many years to find my people, make new friends, like real friends, moving here. But now I found a community, and I'm watering it as much as I
Mhm.
can, and I want to keep it because it's important. It's important to me.
I love that. I think that that's why even being a mom here is so hard. I think that that's
Yeah,
huge reason moms struggle. It's because we're doing it alone. We were never meant to do it alone. We're meant to raise our kids in communities.
yeah.
We're meant to have our kids raise each other while like the moms are together, and we don't have that here. And that's why finding your community. I mean, it's the third pillar of regulating your nervous system.
Mhm.
You cannot have a regulated nervous system if you don't have your community. It doesn't matter what tools you have. It doesn't matter what you're eating, what breath work you're doing. If you don't have a community, you're not going to be able to regulate your nervous system.
Oh.
And so that must have been how was momming in that sense? How was that for you? Did you have a community here? Because that's
Mm,
yeah, that
I
must be
found
really
it.
hard.
I found community because I was, it was a part of me was missing. Like I grew up with my great grandmother, with my grandmother, with my aunt and her husband and her cousin and my cousins, and on the other side of the house was my uncle and his wife and his babies because he was younger, and my mom and my 2 brothers. And then my grandfather's sister and her family lived beside us on the house, and then my grandfather's younger brother also with his family at the end of that block. So it's all family, right? So when I had my girls, when I had my first daughter, my mom and my grandmother came, so they were here for um 2 weeks, and all the wisdom. No, they showed me how to bathe the baby and all those things.
We're just gonna close this. This is just an honest moment. I'll be able to cut that. But okay, maybe you
Yes.
start again. My mom and my sister came, or
So
my mom.
my mom and my grandmother came here for like 2 weeks when I had my first daughter, and they showed me how to bathe the baby and how I should, you know, wash the clothes, and how to take care of the belly button,
Mm,
and all those what like legends, not legends, but like what there's a
yeah,
word in
like
Spanish, like
yeah, I don't even know how to say it in English either, but
like
just
midwives' tales, or I don't know, that kind of stuff that they learn from their parents. Like when the baby has a hiccup, they put like a red thread on their forehead and they're supposed to take it away. Those little things. So when they were gone, I was tough because it was just me. It was just me, and my husband was working, and I was 20 and I had no idea what the heck I was doing. But you do it.
yeah.
You do it and you learn. And of course, my husband's family was there, but again, they're not. is different. My husband is white, and they want to come see the baby, but they would call, and I'm like, yo, show up,
Mm-hmm.
and they're there for a little bit and they leave, or they're not there. But I love them; they're great. But it wasn't the same,
Yeah.
right? But I'm used to it. Um, and but yeah, so it was hard. And London 23 years ago, there was not a lot of people from outside, right? So even going to the mall, every time I would hear someone speaking Spanish, I'd be like, an antenna.
Yeah.
And I will go and talk. I'm like, hey, where are you from? Do you speak Spanish? I've never had a problem talking to people. Um, so one of those times when I had my second daughter, we were at the YMCA. I dropped them off at the daycare, and then I came to pick them up, and I saw a mom talking Spanish to her daughters. Again, I'm like, hi, where are you from?
Yeah, absolutely.
And like, our daughters were pretty much the same age.
Oh, amazing.
And she was the one that said to me, where are you from? And I'm like, from Mexico. Do you know anybody here that speaks Spanish? And I said, no. It's like, I go to a group that is for Hispanic moms new to London.
Wow.
And I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, you should come. So she gave me her number. She picked me up the next week because I wasn't driving at the time. And then she took me. And then I connected with a lot of moms from Latin America who were new to London, and I was able to speak my language, and my kids will hear it. And then that mom with the two daughters that I met to the YMCA, it was Addie. I didn't even have my second daughter. It was just my first daughter. I wasn't even pregnant with my second one. And then till this day, we're family now. Yeah.
Oh, that just gave me the chills.
Her daughters are my nieces, and they're in my house every day.
How powerful.
So you have to find the community. You have to find your people.
Yeah. And people that have experienced we always say like people online will say like niche. You have to find your niche. And I'm like, the only thing you really need to niche is like your community. Yeah. Finding like your mass community, but like finding a niche community, somebody who's experienced what you've experienced. So for you, somebody who did speak Spanish and had kids, and like to find that mom group, like that I'm sure just literally changed everything.
It changed everything. So I was getting what I needed at the time. And once like I found someone that I felt safe and I didn't feel that, then I can move on, and I wasn't feeling that peace that is, it was like.
You're meeting like a safety need. I feel like it's Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's like an old school thing, but like you have to have like that safety. And if that provided that, then you can like go to that
and then
level.
You go to the next level. Yeah. And then you can move on.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need something, you fill up your cup with whatever you need, and then you can move on. Doesn't mean that you have to stay there. And I think a lot of people feel bad of moving on. I'm like, no, like I got it. I got what I needed from this. You give thanks, and you pay forward by giving whatever you need to somebody else that needs it on the way, or doing something good from that.
I love that. That's like that also everything you're saying is giving me chills. Everything's like, yep. I think that that's really powerful. I do think that we can get stuck in like the comfort of like, oh, but this was so important, and I don't know if I'm safe if I leave whatever this is. But it's like you said, if you filled your cup, we've received everything we need. And like you said, just saying thank you, moving on. And I think that that's hard for
in
business,
even in business or relationships, or we've had relationships, but we've been in jobs that like it's not feeling you anymore. Like I'm not getting anything more. Now it feels like a drag. Like do I want to? I have to because I've been doing it for so long. It's expected of me. I'm like, the only thing that's expected of you from you is to be happy. Yeah. So why stay in a place or do something that you don't want to do anymore?
Yeah, and if it's just feels safe, and it's like going into our body like prefers the discomfort of the known than the discomfort of the unknown.
Yeah.
But it's like, all of the possibilities are here. Like this is a small hallway at a certain point. All the possibilities are out there, and if you could just believe it, it's true. But like, if you just kind of believe that anything's possible, then you can just allow yourself to feel uncomfortable in that transition. Be uncomfortable and move on, which is so much easier said than done. And but still, I think that that's part of life, is feeling that discomfort over and over again as you expand. And I had another thought, now I forget what it is, but I think that was just so brilliant. So maybe we go then into this community aspect, because I feel like that goes well into why you opened XUUX, which I see as an artist, and just knowing the space, who's in that space, how you run the space and hold space in there is so powerful, because I do find it's something that we didn't have here before, which is really special. So does that lead into that a little bit?
A little bit. And again, you're trying things, and then you meet people, and then you keep adapting, and you keep really like he's giving you ideas. So after I made my connections, and now my photography is working on. I love working in studios, so I wanted a studio to myself. So I had a studio with a friend, and then she went back to Germany to work, because she is an incredible makeup artist. So she went back. So she left me her studio for like 6 months when I was starting. So I got better there, and then she rented it out. So I needed to move on, and then I wanted a studio, but I didn't have enough clients at the time. And I'm like, oh, but I want a studio. I think it's gonna make me better. So I went on Facebook photographer group. It's like, I want to have a studio. Is there any photographer here that will be willing to commit to a certain amount of money to have a studio with me? And my friend Ruth.
Oh, that's how. Cool. Okay.
And she was the one that said, I'll do it. Like, I'm interested in renting a studio. So I found a place. It was an apartment. It was a loft. It was an open loft just on Gainsborough, just outside of London.
Okay.
On a farm. And it was a lot of windows, and they were renting it to me for $800. I wasn't making that much money all the time that I wanted to commit. It's always scary, right? Especially when you're starting. But I'm like, I think he's going to help me. And Ruth said, I can commit to $250 a month. I'm like, okay, perfect. That only leaves like $650 for me, or $550. I'm not very good at math. And then so we opened that studio.
Wow. And when was that?
That was 2012, 2013.
So you guys, I didn't realize that you guys have known each other for that long. But that explains, because you guys are very close and you're like family. And so that really explains it. And I love that.
Yeah.
Cool. And it was so wonderful to connect with her after, when she came to our show the other day.
She said, I love Cynthia.
It's super mutual. We had such a wonderful conversation. And I remember seeing, well, some of your community members, the people that I know are close to you.
Mhm.
And for me, I was like, wow, to me, it feels like such an honor, because I respect your artistry and the space you created and the people you surround yourself with. There's a level of respect and wisdom that I know that you come with. And so it was just an honor to have.
Well, it's also trust too. Like, for example, people that come to you, they know that if you're trying something new or you're doing something new, they know it's going to be good because it's from you, right? So I think if I say to them, you need to go to see this place, or it's just showing up at XUUX now, it's like, okay, it might be different. I might not like it. It might not be my taste, but it's going to be an experience no matter what.
Yes, it's going to be authentic.
It's going to be authentic, right? But yeah, so that's how I met Ruth.
Cool.
So I started that studio with Ruth, and then we left that space after 2 years. And then I had a partner who kind of joined halfway through that studio, who was a boudoir photographer, and she had like a big vision for her own company. And I found a garage in a building in a concrete factory, and I showed it to her. It was really, really cheap, but it was like 2,000 square feet, 2,500 square feet, and it was falling apart. But I saw what we could build in there. And I always bring my husband. My husband is very, very smart. And then he's like, it looks terrible, but yes, this could work. And then when I brought her in to show her, I'm like, trust me, it's gonna work. And then the landlord was really great. They supported. They wanted to kind of revamp the space, so they did a lot of work themselves as well. So we were there for 5 years, right? And then through the rentals of studios, she kind of took care of the rentals while I was continue traveling and building my photography. And then the 5 years ended. At the end of those 5 years, I wasn't super happy with how things were going. Our visions were completely different. So we just kind of parted ways amicably, obviously, She's still doing her boudoir. But now, okay, so I had my first, the second, this will be my third. Now I know exactly what I want in a studio. Okay. And then I started looking. And then I found that garage,
Hmm.
XUUX. And then I had a friend who was also starting to get photography. And so I asked him, hey, I'm going to open this place. I'm not looking for a partner, but if you want to join, like you can be my tenant, rent for me. And he's like, yeah. So we went in together and then we were building and restoring. And I asked my husband, would you take a chance on me for this one? Like, I think this is the place that I might be for a long time on my own. And can we get some money from the house to restore a building that is not ours? He's like, okay, we'll do it.
Wow. That's incredible.
So we did that. So we were there. We took the lease on 2020, September 2020 during COVID. So we had a good price. And we put a lot of money into renovating it to what it is now. And, it was just the end of COVID. So there was not a lot of happening, not a lot of work. I wasn't traveling at the time either, but I was able to connect with people that were in the community. And I started becoming really good friends with my friend John Fellner. And through him, a lot of the music community in London.
Cool. Okay. I love now having like such a better understanding of how it came to be because I haven't ever heard that like full story before. So how cool and like it is so wonderful to see how one of our connections can bring us to so many people. Like you never know if something's feeling right and that like connection with somebody's like feeling right, then they can connect you to all of the people that can bring in what your vision and help you bring that vision in. And so just like listening to kind of like that voice that said like, oh, this is a
And also
relationship.
meeting people along the way if you're open for it and just really listening. There's people that you meet, you felt them before.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not that you like, there's always that connection that people are nice, you get to know them, but there's some people that you meet and you know there's something more that like I can't explain. It's like you've felt them. You've felt that feeling before of being with someone that is connected somehow, universe, energy, whatever it is that you believe spiritually. They're either gonna inspire you to do something, or they're gonna be in your life for a long time, or they have a purpose for you, or there's not just something. So Ruth was one of them. John is one of them. For me. And especially because we're like, he is a young man and I was like in my 30s with a mom. So we had nothing in common, but we connected. And through him, I met his small community of musicians in here. And then I learned about that. And because I couldn't travel. I was trying to see where can I go? There's places to do here. My kids are getting older now. I have more time or freedom to do other things. And there was not a lot for a person in her late 30s to do something, right? Unless it was Toronto or so. We just hung out at XUUX all the time. And then one day he was releasing a single, and then he asked me, "Mai, do you mind?" At that time he wasn't in the studio. He was just a friend, and he's like, "Mai, do you mind if I can throw like a release party, small, very intimate here at XUUX?" And like, yeah, for sure. So he did a release party there, brought a sound person, did like a small little show where it was like maybe 25 people, his family and friends. And it was amazing. And I'm thinking, okay, we need to do this again. That was in 2022. During that summer, one of another good friend of ours that he introduced me to, Lucy Morgan, we were the three of us hanging out quite a bit. And then he said, like, I would like to do a show. I'm like, let's do a freaking show. Let's put together a show. So he put his friends together that he works with because he's a producer. So he knows a lot of musicians that he works. And Eleanor, Imogen, Lucy Morgan, Saveria, Ficker, and Aiden Was, Mark Swan.
London's powerhouse. Yeah, it's just London's
This is like
powerhouses. Yeah.
4 years ago, 3 years ago.
Wow.
So we put a show together. So he took care of all the musical direction, and we got a sponsor. And I worked on the program. I did all the editing. I produced the lights and everything else, and we put a show. We invite everybody. It was incredible. It was an incredible show, like so good. I was crying. I was like, "Oh my God!" It reminded me of my grandfather. I think my grandfather would be so proud. When my grandfather moved back from Mexico City to Merida, he was a recording artist, right? So he opened. They don't have them anymore, but I don't like. It was a place that you go for dinner and then dance, all dressed up, and there's an orchestra and there's some live musicians. So he had that, and then he had a piano bar after that. When in the late 70s, when the discos were popular, that kind of died down. So he opened a piano bar, and he was saying, but he was always a showman, right? And my grandmother was a party person. She always liked having parties and a band and entertain. So I grew up with a lot of entertainment in my life.
Wow, that just makes so much sense. It feels like that show for you, listening to it from the outside
Was a
sounds like
catalyst.
home. Yeah.
Was a catalyst for me. They're like, okay, I need to do more of this, some way or another one. So that was 2022, the end of 2022. So 2023 was a lot of, okay, now what I'm going to do, the tenants that I had at the studio left. So now I was there by myself. Also 2023, it was tough for me because I had surgery and then I had some complications. I couldn't work for like 4 months. But I met Veronica.
We love Veronica.
We love Veronica. I met Veronica, and I think she was also new to London, and she was as frustrated as I was at the moment of like, because now with the music community, I'm like, where are these things? We're supposed to have a London Arts Council. We're supposed to have all these things. Where is happening? Also, when I was doing Cillian's, I connected with the London Arts Council. I invited them to come. I wasn't asking for money. I just like, if there's anything we can do together, I would love to open my studio up for anything. They never showed up. And I reached out to the London Music Office at the time. Never got an email. I think I called 3 times. I sent emails. I never got a reply. So it was very, very frustrating at that time. I'm like, I'm not asking for money. I'm just trying to get
Connections. Yeah, build connections. Absolutely.
And then I met Veronica, and then she was frustrated as well. And through her, I met some other people too who were like, there's this, like, we want something. So we did the networking event in 2023.
Yes. Yes, I think I was at that one. Was I at that one? It was
I
the
think
first one?
that was the very first one.
Wow, that was that was 2023.
That was
A
2023.
while ago. I remember coming with Mateo. And I was like, I had my child there, and it was a different experience, but I was able to connect to some people. But he was coloring in the corner with Gabby.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but then I didn't know because I'm just starting to connect with the community, right? And then to see how many people showed up, people that I didn't know, and they were all from London. It's just like, okay, we need this. We need something here. People are craving connection, community, because I find it's really hard to get people out of their comfort zone here in London. I think everywhere, but like here in London, to get out, go to a place that is new when you don't know anybody, just even if you're interested, it's like, I don't know, am I gonna know anybody? I think people don't do that. So when people showed up, it was great. And then I'm like, okay, I think we need to do something. And then I wanted to produce a show that I have in my head. And then I applied for a grant and I didn't get it. But when I was working with the grant writer at the time, she told me, you need to build, some type of experience, or like you're doing things for the community, but you need something that is more,
I know what you mean in terms of applying grants. Like you need to have like a few projects almost under your belt or whatever, so that they can see what it kind of
look like.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I love listening to music. So here, what places to go to listen to music is restaurants or cafes.
Yeah.
And I hate when I go see a show and there's people talking. I
Mm.
find that it's disrespectful. If somebody's playing, even though you're in a restaurant, people are talking, of course, but so if I knew that there was not a place like that here, right? If people just want to listen, like me, for people like me that I just want to go listen to music, chill, not have to talk, no like banter. I'm like, okay, let's have a mic night, and then that's how the mic night started.
Beautiful. Okay, I would love, and I'd like, okay, so circling back a little bit on what you had said, and then I would love to talk about the mic nights because I've been there to the ones that I could make it to, and they're just so magical. Um, but I think, it's like also a reminder of like how many no's we're gonna hear or how many like
Oh,
nothings you're gonna hear. Like regardless of what your business is, like you're gonna hear no way more than you're gonna hear yes. And that's just like making that almost an expectation, but still playing to win, still going for it, still sending the email.
if they don't invite you to the table, then make your own table.
Yes, yes. And invite the people that are aligned with you to your table.
Yeah.
And then invite those people back to the table,
Yeah.
and then, which has happened,
Which just
actually.
happened, yeah.
Okay, so I would love to talk about the mic nights because they are really, there's an energy about them. And I could say this about just the studio, the space, there's an energy in there. But I think you create such a safe space for artists to explore, but also it's always really intentional. So yeah, maybe sharing a little bit about that.
Well, for me, I think if it's gonna, why it's working for me, because I'm doing it, I say selfishly, because I'm doing something that I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing something that, that I want to see, that I'm craving. Like, I want a place where I can sit down and listen to music
Mm-hmm.
and everybody's welcome.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to try something, try it. What is the worst thing that's going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think being on stage is not easy. Like, even when I've a few times that I have to. That's why I have a host. Because
Oh,
I don't like hosting. Being in
that's
front,
funny.
like dancing in the back in the day, you're not talking to people,
Yeah.
right? It's a different thing. When I
Mm-hmm.
think when you're dancing is you, but you become someone else,
Mm-hmm.
lost, and nothing is around you. It's just you with the music, right? But when you're hosting or being in front of people, it can be nerve-wracking. I'm getting better, but so that's why I have hosts.
But I love how the host changes every time, and they're always so wonderful.
Well, because so the intention on that of having a different host every time maybe is because I've noticed that there were so many pockets of creative groups in the city, and they were all doing their own things. And they're all doing events, but this one is not going to that one is not going to this one,
Yes.
and they're not connecting. And what I find in my experience is I've gotten better when I collaborated with new people. I've always learned something new from someone new.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if they're at the beginning of their career, of their journey. You can always learn something new from an experienced person, even just the way they do things or the way they think.
Mm-hmm.
You can always learn something new and you get better.
Yeah, and even if it's like not even like you said, like in your own form of art. So like I love sitting in and like watching or seeing how musicians create their music.
Yes.
And it does help me as a dancer because it's all transferable. Like it's all, you can learn so much from there. And then it makes me have a better understanding of music when I'm putting it into storytelling or movie. So I feel like there's so much learning, and like there's just so much magic that can be created by that.
And so you can always take something out.
Yeah.
Like from anyone in any situation. So when I saw that, I'm like, okay, these people are not talking to here. This is what I'm like, why don't just we'll change the host from a different genre, age, and bring the community
Beautiful.
kind of starting connecting, because it's an open mic. So there's going to be people that just want to be able to have a microphone to sing on, to people to sing on too.
Mm-hmm.
So even if this person is from these communities coming here, you might have someone from this other places, or maybe one that has no community yet, like me, for example, that I had nobody to come and starting connecting. And we're all creative people, and it's just really just to be there and listen to music or connect. There's no other purpose than just be there.
Yeah. And it feels
Present.
so because of the way you set it up. So like the way you guys set it up, because this isn't I'm trying to explain XUUX to people if they've never been there, especially if you're in London, Ontario. You have no excuse. Now you have to go.
It's a square. It's a shoebox.
It's literally the coolest space, but the way you set up, there are couches and there's like different seating areas, and then there's like little side tables that are really comfortable that people sit on, and then it doesn't feel like, it feels very connected. It feels really connected because it feels like you're sitting in a giant living room all together, listening to people share their art. And it really is wonderful. So I and it's great for connecting, networking. Like it's really
And I
magical
think
there.
at the beginning we said like we're here to listen
Yeah.
to anybody, to listen to the music, to respect the artist. Like it takes a lot of courage to be there and share something that you wrote.
Yeah.
Share your heart. So you have to be respectful. If you want to talk, that's why we have 2 breaks, because people want to connect, right? So wait till the break, go connect. But when you're here, be present.
I love it. And I remember being there and just like feeling everybody, just your nervous system almost calms down. Everyone was just like really calm. You just get to be. You just get to go and be with your people without having to say anything, like you said, and then just appreciate art. And as an artist, that's therapy right there.
And then we've been tweaking, of course, because you don't get it right at the beginning. So we've been tweaking at the beginning, it's the first one. You have too many people. You go super late. Okay. You learn on the second one not to go super late. Maybe you cut 1 song per person, and then you're still running late because just a lot of, tweaking and turning and like, and for example, I think you came the one that I wanted to mix, dance and,
Oh, I did come to that one too. I've been to a few of them. I think that was maybe the second one I went to. I've been to a few of them. Yeah, maybe that was one of them.
so, there was, like a dance group. It was very, contemporary, I think, and it was very interesting.
I loved it.
It was
As a mover, yeah.
yes, but not everybody will understand it. But that's the beauty of it, that you don't, even if you don't like it. There's been performers there that I don't enjoy.
Yeah.
But then a good friend of mine is like, that was amazing, and that's the beauty of art. You don't have to like all of it, but if it makes you feel something,
yeah, even if it's uncomfortable, it's a life experience.
Even if it's uncomfortable, it's something that you wouldn't see in your living room.
Yes, exactly. I love that. I want to, and actually, I'll pull it into the expansion so I hosted a movement residency at XUUX last month, and we're actually doing an encore in June. And we cannot wait. And so creating that space was just, it felt so sacred. It felt so wonderful. It was so much fun because there's so much to play with. But part of the show is literally making people uncomfortable. And I was like, I love that so much, because that's life. Like, what is life if we're not going to ever feel uncomfortable? And I think at one point we just literally sit in the audience and do nothing. And people are like, but what's happening? And we're like, that's the point. Sometimes you're in life and you don't know what's happening. And so I love allowing the audience to because then we get to experience the full range of life within art.
And I'm supposed to give you emotions, even if you don't understand them.
Yes, I love that so much. And oh gosh, this is like lighting me up. I have like butterflies. Something I want to say, if I can share, that I've noticed about you, like one of your gifts, I think, is seeing where the holes are. Actually, maybe you're a projector. I'm like so excited to see what your human design is. Anyways, but to see like what's missing. What's missing? Like, even when you went into photography, you were like, there's nobody taking pictures backstage. There's nobody doing this. Like, you're so good at finding what that community, that brand, whoever it is, what they need, because you're like, I would want this. Like, I would want this community setting. I want to be able to sit and feel like I'm in somebody's living room and just appreciate the art without having to have these conversations. And I think that that's such, and then you bring that need into the community for us. And I think it's so powerful. And I think it's a nice reminder to anybody else, like within your art form or within your company or whatever it is, you become the client essentially. Like, what do you wish you would have had? What do you wish you have? And allow yourself to create that if that feels aligned for you. And I feel like every part of your life, you were able to create that for so many other people. It was like, what do I need, or what do I wish I had? And then you like create it, and everyone around you benefits. So I just wanted to point that out.
Because I think because if we all benefit, it's better for why. It's like it's like winning the lottery. Okay, you win the lottery. What happens to the rest of your community? You're enjoying it, but they can't come to your trips with you.
Yeah. Yep.
If we all win, it's even better because we're all in the same position. My grandmother was always an entertainer. She always had, caretaker. So I think it's, again, my upbringing, my Mexicanness and my culture is just making sure that everyone is. If you're happy, I'm happy. If you're good, I'm good. Okay, because I know that if anything, if I'm missing something, now I can reach out, because if you're good, then you're gonna be okay to help me out if I need something, right? And what is wrong about giving people something good? If I can live this life making sure that I make people feel good and happy.
Yeah, beautiful. Oh, how beautiful. We're so lucky to have you. And I feel like and I can confirm like that energy is like felt from the other side, because like when I did come into your space, I felt so like, this is home. I think you texted me and you're like, what are you talking about? It's your home. Mi casa es tu casa. So like, you're just home. You don't even need to ask. I was like, oh, okay. And we don't get that everywhere. It's not like that everywhere. And so to be able to even I think creating your space becomes even better because people feel safe there. And so they feel safe to create, and they feel like home, and it creates such a safe space for people, even in conversations, but like especially in your space.
And I do want, like, the people they ask to do an event or rent it out, like I always tell them, like, I want you to do something crazy. I want you to think outside the box. Like, just do something different. Don't be afraid. What is the worst that's going to happen? You're in a safe space. And usually when you have the freedom, you give yourself the freedom to try something new, is when better things happen. Because I want to see those shows. Again, thank you for me. I want to see a cool expansion. I want to see piece hanging from weird material out of my ceiling. I want to see someone frolicking around, and I don't know what's happening, but it's cool. Just want to see things that London doesn't get to do or see, because we're in London and not afraid to new things. And I'm privileged that I've been able to experience those things because I travel so much. But we have the talent here to do that. We have the spaces to do that here. Why don't we just do it here?
And that's another thing that you've brought to London, I think, is so powerful. And again, a reminder for people that you could do this the same in your community. It's that like you've allowed us to be able to build art and our artistry here. And that's something that I really want to do also with like the movement company. It's that like you don't actually have to go to LA or Toronto or Montreal or wherever. You can actually be a respected artist and thrive here.
Yeah,
like London have space for you. Yeah, and London is talented. We do have so much talent.
Freaking cool people. And I think it's just we've been told that oh, you're from London. Where is London?
Yeah, it's so true. It's your own limiting belief. Like you can be a powerful, successful, intentional, thriving artist,
creative person, entrepreneur, whatever it is that you do, and be from London.
Yes,
and proud.
Yes, we are from London, Ontario. We are proud. Okay. I love that so much. And so I think as we're kind of getting near kind of the end of the podcast, can we record another one? How long can we go for? Let's, you know what? I'll put this into two different questions, but I know that they'll be very similar. Let's start with, actually, I'll put them together. A creative entrepreneur, somebody who has that pull towards something, but they're like, I don't even know where to start. I don't know what I'm doing. Or maybe they have that imposter syndrome. They feel like they're sitting in that pit with all the photographers and they're like, I don't know if I belong here, What wisdom can you share with those people? What would you tell them?
Just do. Fake it till you make it. Really, fake it till you make it. You don't need to pretend also that you know everything. I'm not right all the time, but I make mistakes. I learn from them, and I think making mistakes is you have to make mistakes.
Make mistakes.
Make mistakes. I think failure is the wrong word. I think failure is not trying.
Failure is not trying. I love that.
Failure is not trying. Failure is not doing it. It's just staying and waiting for whatever happened. No, you have to do just so. If you don't know where to go, just don't think about the big picture. Just put one foot in front of the other one. So what problem you want to solve today, and focus on that today, and then you do that, and then the next one, and then the next one. So like for me, like I wanted to be a photographer. I didn't know where to start, so I went to Google.
Go to Google.
Oh, ChatGPT.
ChatGPT, exactly. Do that and just take a risk and just message the person, whoever it is, the company, the
call
artist.
Call, talk to people, knock on doors. The worst thing is gonna happen. They're not gonna open a door, or they're gonna say no. But if you don't try, it's still a no.
Yeah, you're just sitting in a room of closed doors.
Exactly.
I love that so much. And I think it's just like consistently taking imperfect action. Like that's where like dropping the perfectionist, like in good girl syndrome or whatever it is that's telling you like you're not good enough, like just it's gotta be imperfect. Just do it imperfectly and then keep making it better and better and better.
You learn, and every time you get better at it, and you learn something new, and then you think you got it, and then you don't got it, and then you just continue. Like the mic nights, I'm still like this month we had our mic night last night. This month I try something new because we all evolve. It's part of nature. It's part of like we have to evolve. We have to adapt circumstances, age, the era that we live in. It's just you have to constantly adapt and evolve. And we're creative people. We can adapt and evolve.
Oh yes, we can. You know what? It's like motherhood. The minute you think that you have their naps figured out,
you don't
change. So like nothing. It's like everything's impermanent. Nothing is permanent. Don't ever. I feel like just not getting comfortable. Like don't allow yourself to get too comfortable. Just allow yourself to go.
And life will be boring. Life will be very boring if you knew what was going to happen every day. If you had it down, like to keep you on your toes, like keeps you on your toes.
Yes. Let you dance on your toes. Okay. Well, maybe we need to go salsa dancing tonight. I'm like, hello. That's how we're gonna keep ourselves on our toes today. Thank you so much. You have so much wisdom, and you're so heart led, and we're honestly so lucky to have you in London. And
London is my home.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be here. I've been here for 23 years. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. And we're so lucky to have like such powerful artists in London that are continuing to create spaces and opportunities for other artists in London. I think it's important for us to, like you said, remember that there are opportunities here, and if there's not the opportunity that you want here, then create it.
And also, one big thing that I always say, like, if you want whatever you want, you need to put out. So if you want people to listen to see your work, or listen to your music, or come to your space, you need to do that out as well. So go to shows, listen to music, new music, talk to new people, just put that energy out there.
I love that. And
it goes both ways. Community.
Yes. Collaborate. I was just going to say collaboration, community. And if we're going into energetics, like New Earth, collective consciousness is rising, like the theme of where we're going is community. And community in terms of like feminine energy, like that's actually how we rise, is we rise together within our feminine energy, especially. So like, so it's also just like part of who we are. Like we all have masculine and feminine energy, but within the feminine part of it, it's community, it's collaboration, and so there's
connection.
Yeah,
connection is important. It's funny when a little bit of a slogan that my daughter did. She did the first reel for the mic nights. I was talking to her, and I'm like, I want you to do this because she's better at those freaking social content things. I know now, but at the time she did the first one, and I said I wanted to say kind of this, kind of that, and then she put create, connect, perform. So that's the slogan for the mic nights, and it was perfect. XUUX artists Stop.
Yes. Okay. We love you. Thank you, everybody. We love you so much. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Ciao.